The Frames are one of Ireland's best-loved bands. They commence an eagerly awaited nationwide tour on Thursday, November the 1st. I'm here in Clonakilty tonight to catch up with frontman Glen Hansard. The Frames have been in the Irish music scene for over a decade. The band was formed when Dubliner Glen Hansard got a record deal with Island Records in the late 1980s. He had a few songs he wanted to record and recruited some local musicians to play on them. Music was an early influence.
My earliest memories of music is my mother, is me lying on the floor. I don't know what age I was, and my mother hoovering with like Tammy Wynette, Jolene blaring, and like Leonard Cohen's So Long Marianne, and like Bob Dylan's Highway 61 playing constantly in the room, really loud, so she could hear it above the Hoover. And then I remember, like, another early memory I have is us sitting in the sink. My mother used to bat us in the sink when we were kids, and playing Bird on the Wire and teaching me the lyrics from the lyric sheet of Bird on the Wire, and me being real young trying to learn these words. And I had no idea when I grew up how deep the words were. For me they were just sounds, and I just kind of copied them. But as I grew up, I really figured out what Leonard was saying, which was amazing. But I really appreciate my mother doing that for us.
Glen didn't enjoy school, and he longed to leave.
My headmaster called me down to the office for the umpteenth time and said, look, you should just leave school, you know, if music's all you're thinking about, because music was all I did. I was just like, you know, I was wearing AC/DC badges and Bob Dylan badges, and all I wanted to do was get out and play music. And I told him, I said, look, I really love it, and I want to do it. And he was like, you should leave school and go busking. You should apply yourself in music if you're going to do it, you know. And I was like, but I'm too young to leave school. And he was like, just do it, just go, but make sure you follow your dream.
He's described as being more than a musician, as a brilliant entertainer. On stage, he's as relaxed telling funny stories as he is singing songs. He puts that down to his early days as a busker on Grafton Street in Dublin.
They say it's easy to get people's attention, all you do is shout, but keeping people's attention is it's an art form that I think buskers really learn fairly early on. You've almost got to throw your voice out there. It's like you cast your line and you catch a few people's attention. And if you can keep it, I think that's a very, very important thing. And I think that through busking, I've learned how to stand on a stage and not be terrified, but to be sort of confident enough to sort of, okay, I'm in this situation, people have paid in. It's okay to be natural and tell a few stories and to have a bit of crack.
The Frames' latest album, For the Birds, was released by the band on their own label, giving them the creative independence they have long sought. Glen says that his musical ambitions have changed a lot in recent years.
I suppose, like every kid, I wanted to be the biggest and the fastest and the loudest, and that lasted for a good long time. I listened to our early recordings, and I can't believe the character that's screaming his head off on our early records. But now I think nowadays, really, what I'm trying to do is just get better at what I do, which is write songs, and trying to make the distance between the song and the listener as short as possible. That's kind of, I suppose, my new ambition. It's got nothing to do with being a rock star. I don't believe it's got anything to do with the person. It's got more to do with the song.
He says that if he hadn't found music, his life would be very different.
I grew up in Ballymun, and I was doing all the things that a young teenager gets up to, and I was on a downward trajectory. And then something happened. I picked up the guitar when I was about 10, and when I was about 12, I sort of got into the guitar. My whole life just stopped, and I don't think that the character that I would have been, I don't think would ever have been interviewed on Nationwide or any other TV station. I don't know what I would have been, but it wouldn't have been good.
Glen Hansard of the Frames. And now to some of the band's upcoming dates. The Frames play the Town Hall Galway on October 27th and 28th, Vicar Street in Dublin on November 1st, 2nd, 3rd and 4th, the Limelight in Belfast on November 8th, and November 9th at the Spirit Store in Dundalk. The 24th Cork Jazz Festival takes place this bank holiday weekend. The highlights include Courtney Pine, who plays the Cork Opera House tomorrow night, with special guest Lyndon David Hall. And Joe Dolan headlines the Bundoran Music Festival. He plays at the Great Northern Hotel tonight, the Holyrood Hotel tomorrow night, and the Great Northern Hotel again on Sunday night. That's all from us here in Clonakilty in County Cork. Enjoy the bank holiday weekend and see you next week.